Where leaders are born.
Multiple online radio station. Online radio station.
Just 33 minutes after the hour, 1 o'clock on Motivo on Radio Way. Leaders are born. Lady 2 coming right to you. We're featuring Queen Volavala. Pele Pele. Welcome to Motivo on Radio. I'm your host, Joseph Nakshabini, known by the name of Optimistic XR. Today I'll be hosting a show, a very new show on Motivo on Radio. It's a show called Let's Talk with Joseph. Today we're going to be talking about some very sensitive issues. Yeah, you better stay tuned. You better stay tuned to find out more about the topics that we're going to talk about today. It's the 10th of November 2021. We're going to be talking about some very hottest topics. Today we're going to be playing you only some beautiful music, new piano songs. Also tune in for that. So, I find these topics today they're very interesting because some of the things I'll be talking about, I actually went through them, and I would like to share my experience with you, which half of the things that we'll be talking about today, let me just say maybe a tiny little bit, all of them. Yeah. I'm not very sure about that, but then, to be honest, I've went through a lot of things in life, where you couldn't even recognize yourself in the mirror, who you are and what you want to do and everything. Today we're talking about that. Please stay tuned after the ad break. I'll be talking a bit about the topics that we'll be actually discussing today. Catch us on our socials at Motivo Online Radio on Facebook, Instagram at Motivo Online Radio, Twitter at Motivo Online Radio. Yeah, playing some nice songs, okay? I'll be back in a second. We're talking about the other topics. Motivation versus discipline. What do you know? 0614882703. I'll be back in a minute. Six minutes after the hour, 1 o'clock. Motivo Online Radio, where it is about. I'm still your host, Joseph Nakshabini, known by the name of Optimistic XR. Optimistic. Someone is always positive, right? Yeah, but not always. But someone is always positive, if you know what I mean. I mean, everyone has their days where you feel, where you feel depressed, where you feel a lack of motivation, where you feel like you don't want to do anything. Just it's a real mess if you think about it, because a lot of people actually lose their way at that moment. You know, Vusi Tembekwai once said, it's either you choose the emotions or you choose the progress. So I find it very, very hard to choose between the two, because once you get used to the emotion, you actually you're not gonna get out easily, because the progress is there, but it's not there. But then if we tend to understand what is it that we are dealing with, that's when we're going to be able to deal with whatever that we are dealing with. So today we'd like to discuss the topics, two things: motivation and discipline. Which one do you prefer? So let me just say, a lot of people prefer discipline. No, not discipline. A lot of people prefer motivation, because when you feel motivated, you feel like you can do anything. But what is it that it's beyond that point of motivation? What is it that is beyond motivation? What is it that you should do beyond motivation? Do we listen to the emotions? Do we stick to the progress or process? So what is it that we should do as people? So I find it very confusing at times, where we actually can't choose between motivation and discipline. So let me just explain the difference between the two. So motivation, you feel like you can, I don't know, feel like you can tackle the world today, then tomorrow you wake up feeling the same way, not motivated, depressed, and everything. So discipline, you feel motivated today, and you plan to do something, and you see the thing through. You don't give up until the end, until you get it right. So what we lack most of the time, we lack the discipline. We always have the motivation. Yes, you can get motivation everywhere: YouTube, everywhere you go. I mean, even Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, you can get the motivation. But then what are the tools that we can insert to ourselves and say, you know what, I want to grow. I want to grow discipline. What is it that we should do? Do we change our habits every day? Do we change the things that we do every day? What is it that we actually do? So we need to look at a lack of character. It's also the reason why we actually can't get the full construction of discipline. So we always stick to motivation, we always stick to feeling inspired, but then we plan things that we cannot actually see them through. Just remember, for example, the New Year resolutions that you made the past year on the 31st of December. So tell me, how many of those plans have you already accomplished? So that's what we should actually think about. There is a huge difference between motivation and discipline. So if we could actually try and grow discipline rather than motivation will always be there. You can motivate yourself. Your friends and family can motivate you, but then without discipline, it's gonna be almost impossible to actually see something through, something which you plan. So let us know what you think on 061-488-2703, 061-488-2703. On our socials, it's at Motivo Online Radio, on Instagram at Motivo Online Radio, Twitter at Motivo Online Radio. I'm still your host, Joseph Nakshabi, known by the name of Optimistic XI on Motivo Online Radio, where leaders are born. Today, that's the topic we like to talk about: motivation and discipline. Which one do you prefer? Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to be taking your messages on Facebook, and you'll tell us what you think about motivation versus discipline. We'll be back in a second.
Can I try
20 minutes before the hour to o'clock.
Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
on our socials, Facebook at Motivo Online Radio. Way later support. 06148827003. Prince Benzo coming to you at this moment saying, come to the KG and PZZ. Let's continue talking about our topic. I see a few messages on Facebook. Tyler saying that I prefer discipline mixed with motivation because I get to do things whenever I feel like. Oh, okay. we just talked about that. Doing things when you feel like it. That sounds more like a motivation to me. But then we have our different views. Let's hear what you think. We have what's this? AB Mila saying that I prefer discipline, but it is hard to grow discipline when you actually do not have the motivation to do anything. Oh, yes. So it is gonna be hard because you have to learn the basics of growing motivation, not motivation, of growing discipline in you without motivation. So don't get me wrong, motivation, it is important, but what is it that you do beyond motivation which will see you through the goals that you set in life? We should actually address that issue on our next episode. So just think about it, the things that make you you, and then think about the things that makes you not you. There are a lot of things which you can look up to, man. Like there are tons of things which you can look up to. So dwell on that and let me know what you think on our social. On our next episode, we'll be addressing that issue and talking about some of those things. All right. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for tuning in. Your boy, Optimistic Guy Joseph Nakshaben, right here on Motivo on and the way that is about. It's 15 minutes before the hour, 2 o'clock on Motivo on and the way that is about. Thank you very much. Thank you. Enjoy the song, The Whistling Man. I'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Ta-da.